The Book of Revelation. Just saying the name makes you think of all sorts of wild stuff, right? Beasts, plagues, these really complex timelines about the end of the world. For centuries, it's been this source of both, fascination and just a ton of confusion. It often gets treated like some kind of secret code book, a puzzle that we're supposed to crack to predict the future. But what if? What if we've been asking the wrong questions this whole time?
And see, this is the big question that seems to be behind almost every popular take on it. People want to know, is this a secret blueprint for how all of human history is going to end? Are we supposed to be matching up its symbols with today's headlines? Now, that view has totally dominated pop culture for sure, but it is not the only way to understand this incredible book.
Okay, so let's dive into this. When we come to Revelation, we're really faced with a fundamental choice about what kind of book we think we're holding. And that choice? It completely flips how you read every single word.
So on one hand, you've got that popular idea of Revelation as a coded prediction. A secret map of things to come, usually with a heavy focus on doom and gloom. But on the other hand, a lot of scholars see it in a totally different light, as a pastoral letter, a message packed with hope and a call to resistance, written for specific communities who are dealing with very real challenges in their own time.
So to really dig into this second way of looking at it, we're going to turn to one of the world's most respected biblical scholars. His work gives us this powerful new lens for understanding the apocalypse. Yeah, Richard Bauckham is an absolute heavyweight in this field, and his approach, it's brilliant because it's so simple. He basically argues that before we even try to figure out what all the symbols mean, we have to start by answering a much more basic question.
And this, right here, is the game changer. Bauckham suggests that so many interpretations go off the rails right from the start because they don't stop to figure out the book's literary genre. For him, this isn't some minor academic detail. It is the absolute key that unlocks the entire thing. So what kind of book are we actually reading?
And this brings us right to the heart of Baukham's insight. You see, he argues that you just can't stick Revelation in one little box. Instead, it's this unique and, frankly, masterful blend of three different kinds of writing.
Let's break that down. First up, it's an apocalypse, which literally means an unveiling. It's giving its readers this heavenly, God's eye view of their world. Second, it's prophecy, but not prophecy like predicting the far-off future. In the Bible, prophecy is all about speaking God's word into a very specific real-life situation. And third, it's a circular letter, a real piece of mail written and sent to 7 actual churches in what was then Asia Minor, to encourage them. So when you weave those three things together, the whole point of the book just shifts. It stops being some secret code for us to puzzle over thousands of years later. It becomes a survival guide for them, designed to give them a divine perspective on their everyday challenges and to call them to be faithful right then and there.
Now, once we get what kind of book we're reading, its central message just snaps into focus with this incredible power. And that message, wow, it's all built around this totally stunning paradox.
Okay, so picture this. In chapter 5, the author John is told that the Lion of the tribe of Judah has conquered. Now, this is a title for the Messiah. It brings to mind this powerful, conquering, military-style king. It's exactly what everyone would expect. But when John turns to look, he doesn't see a lion, he sees a lamb, and it looks like it's been slain. This one image, it's the key to the whole book. Victory doesn't come through brute force, but through sacrificial love. So what this does is it completely flips our idea of what it means to conquer or to win. Bauckham calls it suffering witness. The way you overcome the oppressive powers of the world, what Revelation calls the beast, is not by picking up a sword. No, it's by following the way of the Lamb, by faithfully standing for the truth of God, even if that means you have to suffer or even die.
And Bauckham himself just nails it when he writes this. By bearing witness, they are actually taking part in the Lamb's own victory. Think about it. Christ's crucifixion wasn't his defeat. It was his ultimate victory over evil. And in the same way, when his followers are faithful even to death, that becomes their victory. It's a completely upside-down way of thinking about power.
So what does this mean for the rest of the book? Well, if you look at it through this lens, this idea of nonviolent suffering witness as the true path to victory, it reframes absolutely everything, from the scariest beasts to the beautiful visions of a new creation.
Okay, check this out. A perfect way to see this in action is with the 2 big cities in Revelation. You have Babylon, called the Great Harlot, which is a clear symbol for the Roman Empire. With all its corruption, its idolatry, and its lies, it's doomed to fall. And then rising in its place is the New Jerusalem, the bride, which symbolizes the faithful people of God, a community built on hope and God's presence. So the whole book is kind of this tale of two cities, asking you, which one has your allegiance?
So when we pull all these threads together, Revelation really transforms. It's not a timetable of doom anymore. It's this powerful critique of any empire, anywhere, that demands your total loyalty. It becomes a manifesto for resisting that kind of idolatry, not with violence, but with the faithful witness of the Lamb. It's a story that ends not with total destruction, but with the hope of renewal for everything. And it insists that real justice, real vengeance, that belongs to God and God alone.
So in the end, looking at it this way, it completely changes Revelation from a confusing book of predictions into something deeply practical. It becomes a timeless survival guide for how to live with hope, with integrity, in a world that's dominated by powers that are always demanding we bow down to them. And that really leaves us with one last big thought. If Revelation is at its core a critique of the idolatry and the deceptive power of empire, well, what are the modern empires, political, economic, or even cultural, that demand our unquestioning loyalty today? And how might the vision of that slain lamb call us to resist?